3, 2, 1, and your Titos of Fighting are back for this week's edition of your Combat Sports News. Okay, we will
Kasi
get...
may bagong update sa and we'll talk about that later.
Yon, pwede. It's very, very interesting. But first off, we are going to do a recap of the recently concluded UFC Fight Night. It was very, very interesting. To be honest, I had no intention of watching the Fight Night nung gabi na yon kasi parang it was a mishmash of undercards. Pero
very minor.
Yung mga best undercards.
The best of the best undercards. Pero yung dalawang kasama ko po dito, sinabi nila mukhang okay yung fight card. So we give it a shot. And it delivered. I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, if you get to download or see or watch the fight, I mean, we're gonna focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the main card bouts. Ang ganda niya. For me, ang ganda niya. Sulit yung pag-mention sa akin ng dalawang co-host ko dito na panoorin siya. Kasi
we're talking about, coach, diba? UFC Fight Night 173, Debeson versus Benavides.
Yep. So, let's go to the first one, the flyweight bout between Alexander Pantoja and Askar Askarov.
How'd you like that?
It was the most tiring fight I have ever watched in Fight Island. In this installation of Fight Island. One thing that people will definitely want to watch if they get to see it again is the grappling transitions used by both fighters. As in, nakakapagod siya panoorin. And I know for sure that those transitions are not easy to pull off. The back take of Pantoja, Askarov's counters, Askarov's relentless pace when it comes to... He was really pouring it in. I mean, he kept doing takedown after takedown after takedown. Now, the beauty of those transitions is that every time Askarov was able to take Pantoja down, Pantoja would either snap a submission right away or he would definitely go for a transition or a counter. Sobrang fast-paced nung laban na yun. Nakakapagod siya. So, I mean...
That's high-level grappling, no?
Super high-level grappling. And then if you go watch the second to the third rounds, they were still kicking. They were punching. Syempre, relatively by the third round, you can see na yun, the fatigue was starting to set in, especially kay Pantoja kasi again, this is another thing for aspiring fighters and current fighters. If you're the guy who is taking your opponent down, you're gonna expel a certain amount of energy, but in my perspective and in my experience, mas nakakapagod mag-defend. It's gonna task you more. It's gonna use more of your energy. So, kaya kitang-kita nyo by mid-second or third round, pagod na si Pantoja.
That guy was exhausted.
He was very exhausted. Kasi nga,
I mean, Pantoja was wrestling with the Dagestani wrestling.
Yeah. Nakikita mo nga parang pag si Askarov, he gets the Brazilian dude down, di ba? Parang he was going for those, JC, Dagestani handcuffs.
Oh, yeah. It's a staple in their training program. It's a staple in the training. It's a typical wrestling move wherein you get the person down. If the person turtles, you immediately go for a wrist control. Okay. So so in terms of MMA in its utilization in MMA, once you get wrist control, you have better positioning of your body, and at the same time, if you get to yank out the arm, okay, and you put it close to your opponent. So for example, nakuha niya, so dito papasok yun, nakuha niya yung kamay, ididikit niya sa'yo, you have limited range of motion with that arm. Yeah. So now your free hand is going to be forced to either post or defend punches. So you're at a clear disadvantage when you're put into that position. Tapos, more than anything, it's the pace. Yung pace ni Askarov, it was like takedown, go to the fence, takedown. I mean, super props to Pantoja's takedown defense, balance, and his agility, his presence. If you look at watch the mid-second round or the early parts of the second round, ang ganda ng isang transition niya going for the back take. He inverted and then eventually he was able to hook the legs and kick them out. Nakuha niya yung likod ni Askarov. But super tight match. For me, that was a split. I gave it to Askarov pero split decision kasi he was able to take him down, but diba, we're gonna go back to the previous episodes na our discussion was it's not how many takedowns you score, it's what you do with those takedowns. And for Askarov, he was able to take Pantoja down, but at the same time Pantoja was able to transition or counter or first round pala. If you go to the first round, parang early minutes of the first round, I saw like 4 or 5 submission attempts right away.
Yeah. I would have scored it for the attempts man lang no?
Kasi those are not easy transitions. Those are not easy to pull off. I don't understand. But again,
I think it's going
Dana
back
White,
to yung ano natin.
There are like 3 judges in this screen right now, diba?
We would love to go to Fight
JC.
Island.
Oh, JC, okay ka. Fight Island, JC.
Yeah.
Fight Island. Okay, Carl.
Mainit lang sa labas. Ayoko lumabas.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yun. So, we're a yes for Yes Island. So,
Yes Island.
So, please, di ba, Dana.
May napansin lang ako, Coach, na
we're here in the Philippines lang.
There seems to be a pandemic of bad judging. Fight Island. Diba? Pero
there's another more impressive thing about kay Askarov. He's actually 80% deaf.
He's 80% deaf.
Oh.
So I
think
that was
corner that guy.
Nasa utak na fight plan.
I think it was now every time Askarov goes inside the cage and fights, he has this predetermined set of moves. So now the only time that his coaches get to coach him is during the break. Yun. The only time the corners get to coach him is during the breaks. Kasi wala. Even if they shout, wala, hindi niya maririnig. So,
kahit lumapit sila sa bandang corner niya, hindi niya rin masyado maririnig.
Yep. So
80% deaf. That's
so again,
interesting.
That's a very good point and a very good trivia that was brought by JC. And for aspiring fighters and current crop of fighters, it clearly shows that whatever you do during training will translate during the fight. So you have to train how you fight. And I mean, Askarov clearly shows you na stuck to the game plan. He kept taking him down, pulverized him, and then as long as you have cardio, kitang-kita naman yung cardio niya.
Dude, feeling ko yan yung nakita ng judges.
Napagod ako eh.
Kapagod panoorin eh.
Napagod ako nung pinanood ko
Wala siyang ginawa doon sa takedown pero sa judges siguro paulit-ulit
Paulit-ulit. Tsaka he was successful. He was very successful doing it, di ba? Next bout. This one, this was on my Instagram. Marian Lipski and Luana Carolina.
It looks like you love this one.
Sobrang ano siya. It was good transitions by Lipski, good submission attempt, and a good submission finish. This is something wherein people see the submission attempt and they see of course the knee bar finish, pero they have to understand how it was set up. He was trying to corner Carolina towards the cage, and then she punched her in the stomach. Bumagsak si Carolina, and then from there, nagulat din ako doon. Para sabi ko, wow, bumagsak siya doon.
We were talking previously, Coach, of Cam about yung there seemed to be a back take and an unintentional calf slicer.
Pagdating kasi doon, so takedown, Lipski did her best to swarm her, but eventually she did like a reverse half guard, and then Carolina tried to get the back by swimming his leg over. So now if this is ito, so ito yung ankle, ito yung tuhod. So Carolina swam her leg inside so that she could kick forward. Okay, the moment her legs are inside and she could kick forward, she could get the back from that position. Now, what happened is, once she got her legs in, Lipski sat down. Naipit yung paa niya. So now, as she sat down, as you can see in the photo, she sat down and she hooked her leg on Carolina's hips. So now, para siyang calf slicer, but
hindi tama yung position eh.
There was no point of leverage. So in that entanglement, there was always one free leg. And that's what Lipski saw. She saw that there was a dangling free leg that, okay, let me get that foot. Okay?
Free leg.
For a knee bar, and she executed it perfectly. She knows that Carolina is taller and has longer legs, so the perfect thing is she got hold of the ankle part, okay, stretched the leg, and then she did not yank and pull it right away. Hindi siya yung tulad ng mga nagmamadali sa submission hunting na once they get the leg, they will just crank or lean back. What she actually did was she straightened her body, she postured up, so that gave a high level of connection between her legs and her body, and that allowed her to crank the knee outward. As in, that knee popped for sure.
Before I saw the video, parang nagpadala na ata si JC ng photo sa atin.
Yeah.
You could see the agony in Carolina's face. Like,
ang sakit tignan ng picture.
Masakit yun. That was so hard.
And then we all watched the fight. Tapos,
and
nung
it was good.
Siya, like,
it was really good. I mean, that was parang the submission. It's one of those things in fighting wherein the submission presented itself. Now it's up to you. How are you going to execute, diba? It really depends on the conditioning and the training. And I've heard the commentaries of the fight na Lipski was actually training more of her. She was really focused on her submission game. Kaya I mean, it translated during the fight. I mean, super nice. That was a really good knee bar. And then this one, I want to hear your thoughts. Mark Dakisi and Rafael Fiziev. It was another exhausting fight. Another exhausting fight. Ito favorite ko yung ano lang naman. It's like one of the really good highlights. Feeling ko maging GIF yun eh.
Yeah.
Yung ano niya, lean back.
Yung
kahit ako sabi ko, balong nun. That was
He's
really
been doing
good.
that apparently since kickboxing. I mean, tiga Tiger Muay Thai itong si Fiziev. And
striking coach sa Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah. Go ahead, JC.
Talagang mataas ang expectations for him sa striking.
Pag sa Tiger, like, instructor ka na, tapos
it was a really perfect. It was a perfectly timed defense.
Striking clinic
like,
nangyari.
the only time I saw someone do that was Sanchai.
Yeah.
You know, it's like other than that.
And he's a small guy.
These
dudes are not lightweight to mga.
So they're fast, but they're also tall. I mean, clearly, ano sila eh. These are what do you call this? Ang high level strikers. And Fiziev was really able to grind it out. Another grinding. It's a very grinding match. As in, both were exhausted afterwards. And then we proceeded to the co-main event of the evening, which was Jack Hermanson versus Kelvin Gastelum.
Naawa lang ako kay Kelvin Gastelum kasi parang hindi na siya makakabalik yata sa title run.
Poor guy.
And ako lang like when he's on, he's on. Yeah. When he's off, he's like way off. I don't understand why.
Hindi ko rin gets. Sobrang spotty ng record niya, no?
It's just something about Kelvin Gastelum's approach to fighting, which is something that only Kelvin can answer. But from a really epic fight with Style Bender, all of a sudden you get heel hook on the first round.
It kind of seems like Israel did the mind bend on him. Parang he's never kind of the same afterwards.
I strongly believe. I truly believe that statement 100% na
Adesanya broke him.
Yeah, Adesanya broke him, or he hasn't really gotten over it. Kasi wala, parang hindi typical Gastelum performance eh. And he wasn't really fired up. He was just probably happy to get a paycheck. Pero I'm like, he wasn't the Gastelum that we know, not the Gastelum that we were cheering for. And then afterwards, it was like, okay, dahil hook ako, di wala.
Pero in fairness, nung lumalaban siya kay Israel, yung mga turo ni Rafael Cordero, he really seemed like an apt student nung lumalaban sila. He's
a very talented fighter. He's a very good fighter, and he packs a lot of power in his punches. It's just that I don't know. It's probably not his day, not his night, or there was something.
Maybe Jack Hermanson is just
and Jack really Hermanson is a threat. I mean, he's a threat. He wouldn't be in that. He wouldn't be a co-main event in that card if it wasn't good. And he just really went after Gastelum's foot. I mean, from the initial takedown, butterfly hook, he went for the Ashigarami, and then from there, Gastelum was able to stand up and stack him down, pero he went after the Ashigarami again, and then he was able to reap. When we say the Ashigarami, it's like your leg is over the hip line of your opponent, and you are able to control his posture, and you are able to twist. So when you're able to twist him towards the direction of your foot, na-expose yung heel. Pag na-expose yung heel, it's easy to get the heel hook. If you watch the Danaher Death Squad, John Danaher is a very active proponent and instructor of the Ashigarami system.
Yeah.
So, it was Ashigarami.
It's the age of leg locks talaga yun.
Especially, that's why this is a very good point in terms of the messages we want to convey current fighters and aspiring fighters. We keep discussing this all the time. The best time to grapple in an MMA fight is during the first round. Kasi you're not yet sweaty, you're not yet too sweaty, the traction is still there. There's wala masyadong factors, you're not dripping, there's no blood, diba? You're still a little bit dry. So you'll have better traction and sobrang evident yon with the Lipski fight, the Hermanson fight, diba? And this all these submissions happen in the first round, diba? Minsan nga,
honestly, the middleweight division is getting more exciting.
Yes.
I think we should talk about Israel versus Borachina later.
Oh, grabe yon. Ang ganda nun. Sobrang ganda nun.
I wanna see his lipstick wearing face again.
Diba? It's super, I really hope na Gastelum bounces back from this. Pero it goes to show as well that everyone is focusing now in terms of how do they want to identify themselves in terms of their MMA careers or how they want to be molded by their styles in fighting. A lot of people have competent grappling pero they prefer to strike.
Yeah.
And in this card, we see that a lot of the fights ended up in submissions. So pinag-usapan nga namin ni Carl kanina like the previous fight cards, everyone stood up. Everyone stood and banged. This one, for this card, there were at least 3 to 4 submissions. And speaking of submissions, we go to the main event. It's
who knew the flyweight division was still alive?
Yun nga, diba? Davison Figueiredo and Joseph Benavides. This is like part 2, and it was for the belt. This is for the flyweight belt that was vacated by Triple C. And I feel for Benavides, pero Davison Figueiredo really poured it.
That was a slam and bang affair.
Super. He was on point. The punches were crispy. I mean, for you to... The first knockdown was a hook. The second knockdown was an uppercut. I mean, the power was there. The confidence was there. And his transitions during the backtakes were there. I mean, again, another fight na... During the first round, there was a lot of high-level grappling. Diba? Nakuha yung likod niya, body triangle, good palm-to-palm attempt for the rear naked choke. Pero Benavides was just really good at defending hanggang wala.
Pagod na siya eh.
Pagod.
Well,
I mean, prior to recording, me and Carl were like having a heart-to-heart talk na parang, okay, pero it's a poor camp. For me, as a coach, as a fighter, it's a clear indication of a poor camp. I don't know how he was able to train, who were his training partners, but he wasn't really prepared. I don't know. I don't
At
know
some point, do you think it's diminishing returns na rin? Kasi ang tagal na rin ni Joe.
Yeah, pero the frequency of fighting parang the frequency that Benavides fought, the amount of attention that the flyweight division has been getting, and the amount of and the level of competition. Of course, it's high level competition, but how many flyweight bouts are there, and how long was Benavides' previous fight? So I don't know. He definitely a lot of time to recover and improve. Yes, wear and tear, pero sayang ito na yun
Sa title run ni Benavides, he's 0-4 or 0-5 na ngayon.
Yes, yung pa.
Poor guy.
Parang tuwing title fight na lang, he falls short.
He falls short. Parang si Cowboy Cerrone. Ang ganda ng winning streak. And then all of a sudden, if this is for the belt, biglang all of a sudden, nawawala siya.
There seems to be a problem with Cowboy talaga during the first round. Iba pa yun. So parang everybody knows if you want to beat Cowboy, kill him in the first round.
Yeah, kill him in the first round right away. Oh, that's true. Very true. So, ito yun parang there's just this phenomena with fighters and fighter attitudes and their approach to everything that when the cards are stacked against them and how they react. Medyo sayang yun that's a very alarming statistic from JC 0-4.
0-4.
Diba? So that's
from simula nung
Cejudo,
inaugural pa hanggang
diba? So Demetrius Johnson, Cejudo, sino pa ba? Nag-Dominic Cruz pa ba siya? I mean, yung parang you're there but you just can't quite make it. Diba? Parang,
itong si JC Mighty Mouse fan to eh. So naisip ko na lang, one time we were talking, I don't think he ever actually answered it. Pero is Mighty Mouse, you think, the kind of UL Romero of the flyweight division? You're never the same after you fight him.
Hindi naman yung Yoel Romero na medyo pag nandun na biglang hindi ginagamit yung skills mo talaga.
That was a crappy fight.
Pero tawag dito, sobrang yan. I mean, of course, he fought the best of the best. Pero you, as a fight fan, and you want Benavides to win. Parang you've stuck with that division. You grinded with that division na parang it was a storybook ending sana eh. Pero wala eh. Parang
we were
sayang.
Naalala nyo guys, we were talking about how Benavides lost the war, but he won in life.
Yeah, he won in life. Diba? You get to go home with, diba? As long as you have Megan Olivey.
Congrats to Davison.
Champion in life.
Double champ na rin sana siya.
Double champ sana.
Think, guys, this shakes up the flyweight. Parang nabuhayan uli eh. Champion na uli na hindi si Triple C.
Yep, exactly. So now it's a matter of who can pose a challenge kay Figueiredo, but at the same time, there are a lot of, I mean, if Pantoja and Askarov is a fight, that was very entertaining. Would you like to see that? Pantoja is a ranked fighter, and then he got beat by Askarov, so definitely Askarov moves up in the ranks, and we'll see how this shapes up. And I really just hope that people have a better appreciation of the flyweight division, because these are people who they're very strong people, but they're very athletic. You'll see a whole range of MMA when it comes to the flyweight division.
Galing sila mostly sa WEC, di ba, Coach? Binili ng UFC dati.
So, tawag dito, I just really think na they just need one really good matchup or one really good rivalry. We're done with the UFC. Now we're going to go to Philippine Boxing, and a little bit of a sad news. Okay, JC. So we got two boxing news. So first up.
Yeah, kasi there was this Filipino boxer na lalaban sana. Unfortunately, he tested positive of COVID.
Yeah, that sucks.
Okay. So we're talking about John Vincent
Moralde.
Yep, John Vincent Moralde. I mean, according to, I read an article kay Manila Times, and they were able to speak to him, and he was upbeat. He was okay now. He was even doing light work, doing light exercises in his private area. So it just goes to show talaga that how treacherous or how sneaky COVID-19 is, and
he didn't feel sick,
and it didn't really feel sick. So siya? I mean, sayang. I mean, you're already there. So he'll probably get quarantined. I don't know. I don't know kung anong quarantine period nila doon. That's for sure. It's probably about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'm not really sure if they're gonna test him and let him fight, or they're gonna wait again so that they'll reset the date for him to fight. Pero sayang talaga.
Vegas to, no? Guys.
Yeah, sa Vegas. Subject to change no yung parang antayin yata nila na gumaling na tong si Moralde to para ituloy na yung laban.
Kasi
pero risky pa rin eh.
Si Moralde ba? Parang alam ko taga Jensen yan.
Taga Jensen.
Ayun, another Jensen boxer. It's just unfortunate that this is the life of a fighter that I hope everyone will have a better appreciation of. That you live off fighting, you train hard through all the stresses, and then all of a sudden this happens. Sobrang hassle nito, sobrang heartbreaking nito. I could only feel for Moralde. So I really hope that he's in good spirits. he's in his 20s for sure. This is a young
26.
guy. Career ahead of him, and for sure he's gonna beat COVID-19. I'm 100% sure that he will beat the virus. He will get to train again, and he will fight again. So until such time that he's done with his quarantine and he gets to train again, we are going to wait for the rescheduling of his fight. Sino ba dapat kalaban niya dito?
David Berna, Mexican fighter yata.
Oh, sayang.
Hungarian fighter pala siya. Kung kalaban niya dapat. Parang up and coming promotion sa Philippines apart from MP Promotions and the other.
Okay, Sandman pala siya. Well, at least a really good pool of talent is gonna, and I'm really happy that they get to fight overseas. They get more exposure and definitely better pay. So for sure, mari-reschedule yung laban yan. Then we're gonna wait for the results. Then the next one is nung sinend sa akin ni JC to, I'm like, what? What? Mark John Yap misses weight by 8.7 pounds.
Wow. Did he even try?
So, I was supposed to go up against Miguel Mariaga, fought by JC. I go like, okay, Miguel Mariaga, that sounds familiar. I think he fought Vasily Lomachenko. And then I researched, he fought Lomachenko. He lost to Lomachenko. So this is a really good named opponent. And I mean, so it's a poor camp, poor nutrition, poor weight cutting.
Egregious weight.
I mean, I do not understand. I really hope that the coaches of boxing coaches, MMA coaches, come on, let's work on improving ourselves and studying how the body works. You study how your fighters' bodies work. Hindi na dapat yung pag magka-cut ng weight, dadaan mo lang sa jogging, tapos nakasot ka. There are other ways. Those are, for me, those are very, very effective means of cutting weight, but those are your last-ditch efforts.
Yeah.
I've been very preachy about this ever since. Na parang when you have a scheduled fight and you know the contract is signed and you already know the date, you start cutting weight on day one. And when you say cutting weight, you change your diet na. You change the way you put food in your body. Kasi everything is nutrition. So if you put more of the good stuff in your body, your weight will naturally go down without it diminishing you. So kung sabihin na natin kung puro junk food ka dati, diba? Ito rin yun. I really hope that coaches as well put a lot of emphasis on the amount of food and the value of the food that they put in their fighters' bodies. I mean, tipid kung tipid, pero for me, mas makakatipid ka sa pagpili ng gulay kaysa sa pakakainin nyo sila ng instant noodles palagi kasi masama yun sa katawan.
May sodium din yun, coach.
Diba? Ang problem, ang hassle nun dapat ito na yun, you'll get this from Combat Sports Weekly episode. Pinakamadali, just, di ba, bawasan nyo yung carbs, damihan nyo yung gulay, give them a significant amount of meat, the weight will go down, tapos mag-i-improve pa performance niyan, di ba? Kahit na sabihin nyo, maghanap ka ang daming murang gulay, kangkong, sitaw, pechay.
Iba nga, pipitasin mo na lang.
Yung iba nga, pipitasin mo na lang, di ba? Di ba? You can grow your own stuff at home. I mean, bawasan niyo yung kanin niya, damihan niyo ng kamatis. Kasi, di ba? Like, kung isang buong plato ng kanin, hatiin niyo yung kanin, palitan niyo ng kamatis. Mas nutritious pa yun. Bababa rin talaga yung weight.
That's true.
Di ba? I mean, come on. Let's not put our fighters' health at risk. 8.7 pounds, ibig sabihin he was cutting a lot of weight and he couldn't cut anymore. Hirap na yung katawan niya. Nire-reject na nung katawan yung process of cutting na ginawa nila. So, I mean, it's very unfortunate. Sayang.
Sayang talaga yung opportunity.
Saan ba to, JC? Saan ba yung laban na to? Sa Amerika rin to, di ba?
Sa US din. Oo.
Ayun. Di ba? Nandun ka na Sayang. So, please, yung mga fighters and coaches, you can Google nutritional values of food. Pwede tayong mag-Google din how to cut weight properly. Lahat po yan madadaan sa nutrition. So please, para hindi, kasi sayang po sayang yung opportunity na you make weight, you fight healthy, you have a long career. Yun. Diba? That's what we want for all our fighters, both in all combat sports, boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA. Gusto natin longer careers kasi para at least paano namin mako-cover tatlo yung mga storya nyo kung
let's stop the bro science.
Di ba? Medyo
no more bro science, please.
Tama na yan yung sabi ng teammate ko na tatay nung ganyan.
Di ba? May Google na po tayo o kaya mag-consult tayo sa mga sa mga kakilala naman tayo sigurong nurse dyan or doktor na magsasabing pwede naman, di ba? I mean, we could all do our homeworks. Okay.
Speaking of homework, Coach, let's run down our expected major events that we're looking forward to. Sa July 31, balik na si One Championship, Rodtang versus Pechdam.
Saan ang venue nito?
Thailand.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Nice. Good job, One FC.
Not bad. Diba? In August for Ryzen, balik na sa Japan ang fights.
Oh my God.
Hopefully we can cover this one.
Nice.
August 8.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover those events. We're gonna cover those events. So we got
Japan,
One FC
baby.
in Thailand, and then we're gonna go Ryzen for Japan.
And then in September, Coach, our expected big championship bout, Paulo Costa versus Israel Adesanya. That's awesome.
By that time, I hope there's a sports bar that's open that we can all watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kasi I'm like, I want to watch that fight. I mean, it's the two freaks of nature.
I know.
Sobrang.
Hopefully, it's not like Romero versus Israel. Like,
wag naman sana sayang.
Wag naman sayang. Wag. But I really think that Paulo Costa is gonna engage. He's a younger fight. He's a young fighter. The thing about the Adesanya versus the Yoel Romero fight is, if I was Izzy, I'd fight Romero that way. The problem with Romero is I don't understand where Romero left his wrestling.
It's so funny. Yung memes from that fight were like, dumuguho yata yung mundo.
I was super disappointed. Parang, as a fight fan, as an analyst, why?
It kind of looks like yung pagbago ka pa lang sa video game tapos you're trying to figure out yung controls.
Diba? So, parang, so I really hope that when Carl broke out the news and sent us the posters and the mop-ups of people who were fight fans, I was like, wow, I really want to see this fight. And by that time, September to, diba, Carl?
Yeah, September 10? September 19, sorry. UFC 253. Yeah.
By that time, I really hope that there's a sports bar open. We can probably sit 1 feet apart because definitely we'll still be screaming sa venue. Sisigaw pa rin kami sa venue sa
It's kind of telling guys na parang matutuloy to kasi galit si Dana na nalik daw yung news.
So wala silang choice. They don't have a choice. So ano raw to? Is it gonna be in the States or Fight Island pa rin?
Mukhang Fight Island pa rin.
Wow.
Or Las Vegas daw.
Okay, then hope.
Depende sa lockdown
Apex?
protocols.
Apex or yan or Vegas?
Hindi yata Apex.
MGM na to.
MGM na siguro.
For sure, a lot of people will watch it and a lot of people will be cheering for. Siyempre, we'll do a breakdown prior to the event. Kailangan matuloy muna.
Yes, exactly.
But at least we have something to watch. The One FC event in Thailand. We're gonna look forward to it and we're gonna watch it and then we're gonna break it down again. So, final words, JC.
Tuloy-tuloy lang yung pag-follow nyo sa amin sa still not sure na name ng podcast. Ay, pala. Surprise. I think it was kind of a surprise announcement today. Sa Ryzen, I think at the end of the year ata, si Floyd Mayweather Jr. babalik na naman doon for an exhibition fight with Takashi Uchiyama.
Marami na namang utang si Tito Floyd,
kailangan or maraming pera si Ryzen.
Easy.
Ryzen,
He's gonna fight with the 40-year-old former super featherweight champion.
Wow.
My God.
They really love those exhibition.
They really like freak shows.
Yeah, they really like freak shows and exhibition fights. Pero in fairness, Ryzen is high-level fights. I enjoy watching Ryzen fights. So.
And they don't care about peds.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No.
Kaya walang pan-test. Kaya walang pan-test kasi walang daliri. Walang pan-test kaya walang daliri. Carl.
Thank you guys for following Combat Sports Weekly. We still have a lot of events to talk about and cover, and I hope you take the journey with us because we're all fight fans here, and we basically like to serve you guys. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Exactly, and I'll cap it off by saying thank you for the support so far. For a new podcast series, the reception has been positive. Thank you so much to everyone who's listening and who's watching. Like what my partner Carl here said, if you want us to break down any fights, if you want us to feature any kind of events, just let us know. As long as it's fighting, as long as it's combat sports, we know how to handle it. We're getting invites from local na organizers na sinasabi na hopefully, but I mean these are all tentative. By the time that it opens, so we'll do our best to cover as many of them as possible so that we give the spotlight to the fighters, we give the spotlight to the organizers and the competitors. So with that, thank you so much again. Please follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Please follow DstryMNL. They have a podcast as well. Please follow my podcast, Coach Franco Says, and our social media outlets. So again, thank you guys.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.